This is every single fight to make in every single UFC division, excluding the women divisions. I'm sorry, feminists. We're going to start off with flyweight. This is an easy matchup that needs to happen. The UFC needs to book this one, and it makes sense. Kai Kara France versus Manel Cap. There's already history between these two. They don't like each other. There's drama, okay? Kai Kara France just loses to Pantoja. It was a submission, rear naked choke, so it's not like he took a lot of damage. He tapped out. Manel Cap, he's a dirty, filthy fighter that does eye pokes and nut shots, and he's annoying, and he's a little bitch, and the fight needs to happen. It's going to be a bull versus matador situation. Kai Kara France, he's got more power, whereas Manel Cap, he's got a lot more output. So who would win this one? It's a very intriguing matchup. I would probably lean towards Manel Cap, but I could see Manel Cap getting chinned by KKF. Similar height, similar age, not a similar record. Kai Kara France had a lot more losses, but look, this one needs to happen, okay? Because flyweight's kind of dead right now. Pantoja's going to beat Joshua Van, and after that fight's done, who's it going to be next? I think just recently, Brandon Moreno is going to be fighting Tatsuro Taira. That fight just got announced. So if Tatsuro Taira does beat Brandon Moreno, which I don't think he will, but if he does, then they're going to give Tatsuro Taira the next title shot. So this fight needs to happen. Easy fight. We'll move on to bantamweight. Another easy one. Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen. Same height, similar age, similar records. Tall, lanky bantamweights, pure strikers. Who will win between these two? We already know Corey Sandhagen, he's fighting Merab, but I mean, do you honestly think that Corey Sandhagen's going to beat Merab? He's not. He's not. The only chance I give Corey beating Merab is if he lands the same flying knee that he landed on Frankie Edgar's chin. That's the only chance. He's going to get wrestle-fucked, he's going to get taken down, he's going to get beat. If you think that Corey Sandhagen can beat Merab, write in the comments down below, but I'm not buying it. There's an easy title defense for Merab, just because he's got nobody left at bantamweight that he hasn't fought yet, so they have to do this fight. But after Corey loses this fight, this is the fight to make next. And the thing with Sean O'Malley is that people need to put more respect on his name, because I think Sean O'Malley, he can beat a lot of guys at bantamweight still. He can beat Corey Sandhagen. He can beat Mario Batista. He can beat Marcus McGee. He can beat a lot of these guys. There's just those stylistic matchups that Sean is never going to win, and Merab is that guy. Sean will never be able to beat Merab. Never. Okay, so this is the fight to make, and a lot of other people have said this, so we'll move on to featherweight. Featherweight's tough, because a lot of fights have already been booked for featherweight. Gene Silva versus Diego Lopez. Two big names already gone. Volkanovski's most likely going to be fighting Lerone Murphy next. Sucks for Movsar Evloev, I know, but you got to be entertaining. You can't, and I do think Movsar Evloev is an entertaining fighter, a good grappler, but for the UFC fan base, the casual fan base, Movsar Evloev is unknown. Nobody knows who he is, and he's boring. Okay? That's not my opinion. That's just the casual's opinion. Nobody knows who Movsar Evloev is, even though he's the #1 ranked guy at featherweight. So, we haven't seen Arnold Allen in a while. He last fought Giga Chikadze like a year ago, and he's still in the rankings. He's 20-3. I consider Arnold Allen a really good fighter. He needs to fight an up-and-comer, though. Someone who's on a 4-fight win streak. Someone who can match his pale whiteness, because my God, is he pale. Who better than David Onama? My God, David Onama is so fucking black. This is the yin and yang matchup that we need. The light versus the shadow. The brightness and the darkness. This fight needs to happen. David Onama, 4-fight win streak. He's looking good. He's rising through the rankings. But Arnold Allen is above him in the rankings. And because Arnold Allen has been inactive, he needs to fight an up-and-comer. They can't put Arnold Allen up against someone above him on the rankings. So I consider this a really good fight to make. A lot of people haven't been talking about David Onama or Arnold Allen. I could have done some other generic fight, but featherweight, come on, it's right there. Do it. And here's the thing, David Onama's from Uganda, a former British colony. You know who's British? Arnold Allen. So there's history there. There's not just the stylistic intrigue, but there's the historical intrigue. David Onama, he needs to fight this on behalf of his Ugandan ancestors to destroy this disgusting British colonizer. And look, he's even wearing red shorts, like his red coat ancestors, that fucking Brit, that red coat. So book this fight. Easy fight to book. It's right there. It's open. Please don't put David Onama against anybody else. Please don't do David Onama versus Josh Emmett. Nobody wants to see old man Josh Emmett anymore. Lightweight. Who could fight at lightweight? Because lightweight's tricky. I was going to put Ilia Topuria, but everybody has been talking about Ilia Topuria fighting Arman, fighting Paddy, fighting Gaethje. I wasn't going to do that. A lot of people have talked about this matchup too, but it has to happen, man. Dan the Hangman Hooker versus Max Blessed Holloway. Similar heights. Again, it's similar to Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen. Pure strikers, skinny, lanky. Please make this fight happen. And I know Dan Hooker, he's gone through injuries, so hopefully he's a very healed Dan Hooker that's not going to come in as a shadow of his former self. But he's on like a, 3-fight win streak, is Dan, I think? He beat Jalen Turner. He beat Mateusz Gamrot, which was a really good win. Do him against Max. Who is Max going to fight now? They're not going to put Max against Arman. They're not going to put him against Paddy. They're not going to do Gaethje because he already knocked out Gaethje. So they're not going to do Topuria either because he doesn't deserve... Max Holloway doesn't deserve a title shot against Topuria at this point. Do the Dan Hooker fight. You could make it a main event at a UFC fight night somewhere. And do it Vegas, Australia. Well, no, Dan Hooker's New Zealand. He's a Kiwi, so that wouldn't make sense. But still, who would I favor to win in this fight? Probably Max Holloway, only because I'm not completely confident that Dan Hooker would show up in a 100% version of himself. He's had a lot of injuries. Like, he's got a fucked up hand now. Jalen Turner caved his head in with that head kick. And I know it happened a long time ago. I know he beat Gamrot after it. But still, he's had a lot of damage, man. Dan Hooker, he's been in so many wars. The Poirier fight, I don't know. I really don't know. Whereas Max Holloway, he's only been knocked out once by Topuria. So, welterweight. Another easy matchup that people have been talking about. Yes. Bully B versus the Nigerian Nightmare. They're both similar age. 37 versus 38. Come on, man. Kamaru Usman, he's not going to get a title shot now, even though he dominated Joaquin Buckley. This is the fight to fucking make, man. And they don't like each other. Bilal, he doesn't like anybody. He trash talks everybody. This is the one. Both grapplers, both stocky, muscly. They have to do this fight. Main event, UFC fight night. Do it in Chicago again. They just had one in Chicago. Do it again. UFC fight night in Chicago. Because Bilal's from Chicago. So, yeah, what else is there to say for this matchup? Who would I favor to win? I think I would favor Usman to win. I think I would. Usman looked great against Joaquin Buckley. And because this would be a main event fight, it would be 5 rounds. Bilal is good too, but I just have a feeling Usman would win. Usman has better wrestling, better grappling, stronger puncher in my opinion. And Bilal, he just looked poopy against JDM. And controversial opinion, but I don't think JDM is... I don't think he's a super elite fighter. I don't. I think Islam's going to beat JDM. So the fact that he lost to him, Because, like, who would you favor to win? Prime Usman or JDM? I mean, really. I'd favor Prime Usman to win against JDM. Now, a 38-year-old Usman, probably not. But I'd figure a Prime Usman would dominate JDM. So the fact that Bilal couldn't speaks volumes. Middleweight. Ooh. Now, this one might be controversial. Bo Nickel. If Bo Nickel's going to fight again, me personally, I don't think Bo Nickel should be fighting at middleweight. He doesn't have the frame for middleweight. He could easily be fighting at welterweight, and I hope that he does move down to welterweight. But if he is going to be fighting at middleweight, there's only one matchup that makes sense. The Ginger himself, Bo Nickel, he needs to fight Torres motherfucking Finney. Fight Torres Finney. Torres Finney had a horrible performance against Robert Valentine. Took him down, laid on him. He threw like 3 punches the whole fight or something crazy, like 4 punches, something like that. So if Torres Finney's going to go with that same game plan and try to go for the takedowns, well, you've got a wrestler. Okay, I would think that Bo Nickel's really good at defending takedowns. He looked terrible against DeRitter, but he did take DeRitter down. And DeRitter's a big guy, 6'4", former light heavyweight guy. So this is the matchup to make. Also, Torres Finney, he's like the same size and height. I think he's a little shorter than the other guy that he fought. What was his name? The short black guy that came on short notice that fought Bo Nickel. Not Brimage. What was his fucking name? Val Woodburn. That was the guy. I was thinking of Brimage, the short guy that fought Conor McGregor. No. Val Woodburn, the gardener. This is the fight to make. I do think that Bo Nickel would win this fight, and so that's why Bo Nickel, because you know he doesn't have any more confidence anymore. You know Bo Nickel's confidence has been completely shattered. We haven't even heard from him, really. We don't know if he's going to be fighting in the UFC anymore, because I think he's now back to wrestling, but he hasn't been cut yet officially, so maybe there's still hope. But yeah, Torres Finney's the guy. Torres Finney's the guy to put up against Bo Nickel. And I mean, just look at him. He's a complete specimen of a man. A muscly ball of testosterone and steroids. He looks like a little black cannonball. I remember back in the day, I would go to the movie theaters a lot, and I would eat these like little crunch balls, like Bunch of Crunch, and they're like black chocolate balls, and they would have like smooth ridges, because it kind of looked like a small little muscly ball, and that's what I think of Torres Finney. He's like a little black muscly ball, like these little Bunch of Crunches that I used to eat. So let the meme fight happen. This is a meme fight, but I would love to watch it, and I think many people would love to watch it. Torres Finney, some of his highlights, he's got like big overhand rights. Throw the overhand rights, Finney. You could knock Bo Nickel out. We've seen that knockout that he had in the regional scene. Completely starched that one tall dude. So let's move to light heavyweight. This is an easy one. Easy one. Johnny Walker versus Yuri Prochazka. Now, I know Yuri Prochazka, he's got a fight booked with Khalil Roundtree. I get that. And I do think that Prochazka's most likely going to beat Khalil Roundtree, but this is a fight that I wish can one day happen. The battle of the autism. Who has more autism? Who has more special needs? Johnny Walker just got a win against Zhang Mingyang recently. He's not going to be cut from the UFC. He saved himself over that win, because that would be like 3 losses in a row if he lost to Zhang Mingyang. Both very unorthodox fighters. They're going to be throwing head kicks. They're going to be throwing flying knees. Yuri's head movement in his last fight against Jamal Hill was very improved. I would love to see this fight happen, and I would love for it to be a main event for 5 rounds. I do think that Yuri would starch Johnny Walker, but it would still be fun. So yeah, I know people would dismiss this fight saying, oh man, really, Forge, you would do this? Because Johnny Walker stands no chance against Yuri. I get that. He probably doesn't stand a chance, but I would still like to see it, just for the memes, just because they're both tall. They're both weird guys. And I think a lot of people would love to see it. So let's go to heavyweight. I am including Tom Aspinall. Who poses a threat to Tom Aspinall? It's not Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane does not pose a threat to Tom Aspinall. The Volkov rematch, I think Volkov posed a threat to any heavyweight, but I think Tom Aspinall could just easily take him down again. I think Tom Aspinall would easily win the rematch. Jailton Almeida, that's intriguing. Would Tom Aspinall be able to defend the takedowns? I think so. But it would be intriguing. No, there's only one guy that can pose a threat to Tom Aspinall. And no, I'm not trolling. I'm not trolling. You need to hear me out. It is Walter Walker, the brother of Johnny Walker. Let me explain myself. Okay? Walter Walker is on a 3-fight heel hook win streak. Okay? He takes people's fucking kneecaps. He will pop your kneecap. And Tom Aspinall, he injured his knee in the Curtis Blades fight. And people say, oh no, it's healed. The knee is all fixed at this point. It is. But when you injure yourself and you break all the tibia and the cartilage and the ACL and all that shit, it's never 100%. When you injure yourself like that, it's never 100%. And go back to the regional scene. Tom Aspinall, he fought a guy called Stuart Austin. I'm pretty sure that was his name. And how did Stuart Austin do against Tom Aspinall? That was a fight that Tom Aspinall lost. And how did he lose? In what manner did he lose? That's right. He lost to a heel hook. And Tom Aspinall tapped out to Stuart Austin because his knee was hurting. He hurt my knee. And here's the thing about heel hooks that a lot of people don't understand. They think it's the ankle that hurts. No, it's not the ankle. It's the knee. It's the cartilage in your knee. You know, you've got the top leg, and then you've got the bottom leg where the bones meet, and then you've got like all the cartilage that connects the two bones, the femur and the tibia, I think it was called. And when you twist the ankle, it's basically like twisting your knee in two different directions, and that's what causes the pain. That's why people scream in agony when Walter Walker puts them in these heel hooks, like he did Junior Tafa, like he did Kennedy Nzechukwu, and who's the other guy? The fat black guy, Don'Tale Mayes, that was him. They scream in agony, they scream in pain, they tap out, oh, please make it stop. Tom Aspinall will tap out to Walter Walker if he gets in that position, undoubtedly. His knees are fucked. Tom Aspinall's knees are fucked if he faces against Walter Walker. This is the fight to make. I think Walter Walker, his next fight against is Ryan Spann. I really hope that fight doesn't happen. I saw that on Reddit, apparently. They're doing Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann doesn't deserve to fight Walter Walker. He doesn't deserve to fight a guy on a 3-fight win streak. But hey, if they book that fight, that's an easy Walter pick. 4th heel hook in a row. I give it to him. He will beat Ryan Spann with a fourth heel hook. And yeah, Dana, Hunter, if you're listening, if you're watching this video, which I know you are, I know you're watching this video, okay? Look into these fights. I know Walter Walker, he's not going to get a title shot anytime soon, but put him up there, you know? Rush him up like you did Pereira when he came into his UFC debut. You did Pereira versus what? Mihalidis, and then after that it was Bruno Silva, then after that it was Sean Strickland, and then title shot. Pereira had 3 fights, and then he got a title shot. Walter Walker, he's on a 3-fight win streak. He's going to have to be on a 4-fight win streak after he beats Ryan Spann. Give him a title shot after that. There's nobody else. Okay, so these are the fights to make. I hope you liked the video. That's all I've got for you. Peace out. You subscribe, motherfucker. Subscribe to my channel. Peace out.